Hello, today we'll be presenting Balancing Ambition with Responsibility in the Electric Vehicle Industry. This work was done by a group of PhDs with a diverse range of expertise. What is the issue? Well, traditional cars contribute to greenhouse gases, which leads to air pollution and ultimately climate change. Electric vehicles are seen as a greener alternative, but their eco-friendliness is marred by complex manufacturing processes, sustainability challenges, and ethical concerns in the supply chain. Our objectives is to one, explore the ethical challenges, and two, propose recommendations to transition to clean energy in a responsible and sustainable way. Now, what is happening globally? Well, climate change should not be tackled at the expense of human rights. For example, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a UN report identified 40,000 child workers mining cobalt in unsafe conditions. And lithium extraction has a track record of violations against indigenous and rural communities. This leads us to human health risks for miners. Lithium dust could lead to pulmonary edema, and cobalt mining could emit radioactive particles. There's also very poorly constructed mining tunnels, which are dangerous. Now, for our environmental hazards, the extraction of raw materials for batteries can lead to environmental damage, such as land and water pollution and ecosystem destruction. A 2021 UN report said that lithium mining uses about 65% of Chile's water resources. Also, scraping minerals and metals from the deep ocean floor could lead to a return of other harmful materials to the ocean surface. Now, in terms of energy source, 59% of the world's electricity is generated from coal burning, which also contributes to greenhouse gases and pollution. For battery recycling challenges, Bloomberg predicted almost a tenfold increase in battery market size by the end of this decade, but as little as 5% of lithium batteries are recycled today. Now, what is happening locally? Well, Canada is the only country in the Western Hemisphere with an end-to-end supply chain for electric vehicles. But it has its problems as well. For example, a mining project being proposed in Canada's Hudson Bay lowlands is home to several indigenous communities. Environmentalists say this land is a massive carbon store and could increase emissions. First Nations are concerned about the impact on traditional lands and livelihoods, and they were not consulted before the project had the green light. But on a more positive note, for example, Snow Lake Lithium in Manitoba is developing all-electric mines powered by renewable energy to set a standard for carbon neutrality and reduced environmental impact. There's also projects based in Ontario that have strong regulatory oversight and engage with local communities to support sustainable development. In terms of energy source again, Canada, 59.3% of the country's electricity supply is from water, hydroelectricity. Now for Quebec, we have Hydro-Quebec with about 94% of the province's electric supply is supplied by water. Finally, for recycling, Li-Cycle in Ontario recycled about 5,000 tons of used lithium batteries in 2020. Toxco Canada in British Columbia is the only facility in the world that offers both primary and secondary lithium battery recycling. And finally, just launched in June 2023, there's a brand new electric battery recovery program in Quebec.
As global recommendations, there are a couple of things that comes to mind. For example, supply chain transparency. By implementing blockchain technology for transparent supply chain management and ethical sourcing of materials. Battery recycling, promoting renewable energy adoption and enhancing battery recycling process methods. Respecting environment by collaborating with international organizations, governments, and industry stakeholders to develop and enforce sustainability standards. Human rights by exploring innovative solutions to reduce ethical risk at the global level. International collaborations by developing global frameworks and agreements to set mining standards and processing of EV materials. Investing in international R&D programs to improve battery and find alternative raw materials. Support for developing countries by providing technical and financial support to developing countries to help them adopt sustainable mining practice and improve labor conditions.
We also have some recommendations for Quebec. First, the province needs to further ensure ethical sourcing of materials by using blockchain technology and regular audits and creating certification programs to verify ethical sourcing practices. Secondly, we recommend that Quebec increase funding for research in sustainable batteries like solid-state technology and improving recycling methods. Third, Quebec should strengthen environmental regulations and promote renewable energy use in EV production through regulations like Canadian Environmental Protection Act and the Fisheries Act. Fourthly, we recommend offering economic incentives for companies using sustainable practices and mandating ethical sourcing. Finally, it is essential to support clean mining initiatives through community involvement and stricter environmental standards. For example, there is a new lithium mine in northern Quebec that respects 270 conditions to protect wildlife and indigenous use of lands. By taking these steps, Quebec can ensure a responsible and a sustainable EV industry.
The ethical concerns of EVs are human rights issues and its negative effects on the environment. The main point of our recommendations are 2 points: respecting environment and protecting human rights. Respecting environment by collaborating with international organizations, governments, and industries to create and implement environmentally friendly standards. And for protecting human rights by exploring innovative solutions to reduce ethical risks at the global level. The main point of our local perspective is maintaining and improving local EV batteries recycling programs to minimize waste and maintain healthier mining conditions that avoids environmental effect and respects Indigenous communities in Canada. By implementing these steps, we can create an EV industry that is ethical and sustainable, benefiting both global and local communities. It is critical to approach the increasing popularity of electric vehicles with caution, ensuring that ethical standards are not compromised in order to make a rapid progress in this industry. Thank you.